Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So earlier in the year, we unearthed two beds of potatoes, and I said the same day I was actually replanting two further beds of potatoes, so I'm going to unearth them today. So I'm not sure if it was March or May. We did the last two beds. We're now on the 25th of October, so these will be the last two beds of the year. So let's get stuck in. I'm just going to throw if you've watched me do these beds before, you know, get a bit excited. So if I stop talking, it's me trying to concentrate, I'm afraid. So let's get stuck in. Where? Yeah. There'll be the various sizes, as I've told people before. The smaller ones will be soups and stews. So, sorry? I know, yeah. Somebody complained on the last video that I was too heavy-handed putting the potatoes into the tub, so I'll try to be a little bit more gentle today. As you know, the hay or straw I take off the top will get reused. Mr. Wolfhouse can just show you. I picked up a couple of bales from the free site again this year. So some people actually just pick them up for seating for birthday parties, garden parties, etc. And luckily for me, once they've finished for the purpose that they've got them for, they put them on the free site so people like myself can come along, ask for them, and use them in our gardens or whatever we feel fit for, really. So yeah, I managed to get four this time. So it was two last year, and I managed to get four this year. So they've not been put to use yet, but once these beds have been dug up, I'll decide then what to put in them for the winter. And I've grown potatoes through the winter before, and you know it might be a smaller bounty, but we've still managed to protect them somehow and have a little feast out of them. So needs must. So that's what we do. I'm not so worried about the tiddly ones all coming out. As I say, they'll just act like seed, and if they make it through the winter, then something we'll eat next year. So, a little investment of sorts. I don't wish to go too deep because I basically sowed the potatoes on the surface and just merely covered with the straw, so most of the potatoes should really just be sitting on the surface. Mr. Wallflowers come out earlier and just had a quick glance and said to me, I don't think you'll actually find many in that bed. So I'd actually taken a look a day or two previous and could just see some peeking out. So I'm hoping he's pleasantly surprised at the crop afterwards. You know, they don't have to be massive because this time of year to keep warm, or soup, stews, curries, casseroles, those types of foods, and the small potatoes will be a mouthful, and we'll be quite happy with those. As you can see, that's just nearly half a bed, and although it doesn't look like a massive crop, it's reasonable. I'm hoping I'm alright to stand on this now, because I'm going to have to wear here at the top. Here, underneath this pile. Here. Alright. Did you spot them? Perfect size for winter meals, aren't they? We've just been trying to sort a budget out, looking at taxation rising to 15% here in the UK. We've just had another new Prime Minister foisted upon us through non-election and just their choice in the Conservative Party. Same as any other workplace, really. Corporatocracy is, the primary function of any government at the moment. And we're going through hell on earth here at the moment. Same as most places, petrol, mortgages, shop prices, you name it, everything that cost us financially has doubled, quadrupled, in prices. But for people like ourselves who are running on a tight budget already, our mortgage is already doubled, and we're only on, what's the percentage now, Mr. Wallflowers? It's on 1.8 or 1.7 on the interest rate at the moment, and we're being threatened with that possibly going up to 2.5 straight away, and then somewhere along the line it going up to 15%, which obviously none of us, well, we personally couldn't afford to maintain keeping up to date with our mortgage payments on that. So what do we do? Because that will happen to an awful lot of money people. I can't see that they can evict us all, but we never know. We don't know if the army is on the streets and what the next stage's plan is, without sounding ultra paranoid. But it's a fact. It's a threat, and it's something we'll have to deal with if that happens. So every one of these potatoes is crucial for us for the coming winter, because every part of our finances is crucial to keep a roof over our head. Now, if we can't keep the property we're in, and landlords are putting their prices up extortionate, and everybody else is vying for a property as well as we are, how are we going to have the finances to bid for a property, whether it be a one-bedroom flat, whether it be a bed sit, whether we're lucky enough to get a house again, if the unfortunate of losing our home should happen. So, we're looking at, we've always tightened our belts anyway. We've always been quite frugal in our standard of living. So how do we tighten those belts even further? Unfortunately, it's don't go out as often, don't use the diesel, don't use the petrol, don't have the heating on in the house. But if we're able to keep the property, we don't want damage to the property due to not having any heating on through the winter months. And it's all a stress factor if you allow it to be, but a mind game and a minefield for us to be in at the moment. So take your exercise, get out in the garden, do little things like I'm doing here and pick the little spuds to create a meal. If you have to, make sure you've got a barbecue and you can cook that food out there so you're not using the gas. But make sure you're paying little for your food and trying to grow as much as you possibly can. And reuse absolutely everything that you possibly can. Are we diddling? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not picking out every little tiny one. So long as they're big enough to go in a soup or stew, I'm quite happy. But the tiddly ones get to have babies, I think. I went to the food initiatives like I normally do. I went to visit those today. Um, some of the veg was sparse. The bread is something that we're all struggling to get at the moment. Yes, I'm capable of making bread, but whilst I'm going to these food initiatives, the bread is normally free. It's different qualities and types of bread that I'm not used to making, although I do experiment occasionally and teach myself how to make different things so I'm ready for when I need to. If that quality bread is there and it's free of charge, then I'm going to take advantage of it. But it is very noticeable um, in these places that a shortage of bread is there. It's few and far between when white sliced bread's available. Um, the brand names that we're used to are very rarely available at the moment. So, just think if you eat bread on a daily basis, make sure you practice them. Make sure you've got your yeast in. Make sure you've got the facilities to bake that bread. Make sure you know how to store it. If you're eating half a loaf and, you know, bread that you make at home goes mouldy rather quickly because it hasn't got the preservatives in that the shop bought bread's got in, obviously. So take the slices out that you need to use and freeze the rest and take it out. If you're using a toaster, if you're using whatever, you can defrost that bread under the grill, in the oven, or you can just leave it out either in a bag or on a plate, or you can defrost that bread daily as you need to use it, but it won't sit in the cupboard for the longevity that a shop bought loaf would. So you have to bear that in mind when you're making your own. Okay, I'm quite happy with that for now. So that's bed number 3, and that's what we've managed to get from it. I'm quite happy with that. So let me just compose myself slightly and we'll go along to bed number 4. This is bed number 4, and it's the last bed of the year. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything in it, but I can assure you there will be. So, just going to draw the top of it out. And then, oh, where have I left my trowel? Bear with me, Mr. Wolfhouse. Just need to grab a trowel. Have a little chat. Okay, I'm back. Right. Need to dump this. Oh, it's a nice one. Oh, well. When I put the sprouted potatoes in, which is what these were, they're all food initiative potatoes that we haven't eaten in time that have sprouted, and then I've decided to replant. I don't bother separating the reds from the whites, I just plant them all in together and it doesn't seem to affect the growth. So as long as we've got the potatoes when we need them, we're quite happy. So as you can see, that's not bad for one little corner, considering it looked like there was nothing in this bed. Just like the look of that one. Yeah, like it by the edge. These beds are absolutely perfect for this purpose, aren't they, Mr. Wallflowers? You know, what would have otherwise ended up in the landfill are just absolutely perfect for producing food. Makes me want to make sure and double check the sides, because if the big ones are growing at the sides. There's a blackberry bramble there I've just had to yank out, but luckily enough it didn't rip me. Didn't rip me hand. I think we're getting more in this tub than we did from the last bed. Much better harvest than what we did at the beginning of the year, isn't it? Mind you, we did have that fabulous good weather though, didn't we? If you're anything like me, you'd be seeing the ones I've missed, and you'd be screaming at the screen right now, "You've missed that one, you've missed that one." As I say, anyway, I've missed. I'll go on and have good fortune for us for next year. So, ugh, put my fingers right in the mother spud. You playing I Spy? I'm shattered now. I have spinal difficulties and I have good days and I have bad days, and when I come to do these videos it's obviously good days, but it still only takes me so far. But I will not be defeated. I want this crop and I'm gonna have it. Oh. Sorry if I'm panting, but it does take a lot of energy out of me. That almost stood up on its end. I can't be as thorough today as I normally would be, but get a chance when I've recouped my energy, I'll come back and search for the ones I might have missed. But for now, I think we're done, aren't we, Mr. Wildflowers? Yeah. So, can you help me lift this, please? Bed 4 supplied a massive mixing bowl full of all different sizes. Bed 3, nearly half a bucket full. I'll pour them all in together. We've basically got a bucket full of potatoes from 2 divan beds. Once washed, cleaned and prepared and dried, they shall take us through the next, I'd say, at least a minimum of 3 months. We'll have lots of enjoyable meals from them. Whatever doesn't get eaten and sprouts, go back in the beds and we'll eat them again next year. I'm shattered now, as you can see, but thanks for joining us today and we'll see you soon. Bye.